excited now.
Yeah, so he has this little toy right here. Look, if I take it, he gets it. It's like,
whoa.
Where he's like looking at it. It's like, where are you taking my
yeah,
toy?
where are you taking my
so
toy?
Just leave it right there.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Charlie.
And welcome to Outsmarting the Shadows, where we help you survive horror movies.
That we do.
And this is little Milo.
With a new toy.
With a new toy.
One of his toys.
An old toy that he considers
his favorite toy.
His favorite right now.
Yeah. Every time we get a new one, that's his favorite for the moment. Right?
Okay, so today we are covering one of my all-time favorite video game series.
Yes, one that I don't believe is scary at all.
Well, have you ever actually played Five Nights at Freddy's?
No, I have not.
Well, then you
I
don't
have
know.
not played Five Nights at Freddy.
Though
I think I played it for like 1 minute in 2018.
Okay.
That we installed it and I played for a minute. I was like, I don't get it.
That's
this makes no sense.
You don't feel the tension building when you play things, though.
Well, I do in, in like walking simulators or survival horrors, but that's not really a survival horror. It's kind of like a management.
It is resource management.
I really don't like resource management games.
Well, so it's a limited resource management game that's focused on trying to prevent you, the nighttime security guard, from basically getting eaten and destroyed by animatronic monsters.
I see. But there's no action. It's you just waiting and looking at little screens.
There is action if you fail.
Oh, okay.
But then you're dead.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't find it all that scary.
It's the stress of like, okay, are the doors locked, but then they can't be locked for too long, and then you got to manage the cameras. And
I would say like Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3. Actually, Silent Hill 3. Now that game gives you stress.
Okay.
That's a stressful game.
So we're not actually reviewing a video game.
No, we're not.
We're not surviving a video game. We are surviving Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie.
The movie. Which was, a pretty good movie. I liked it.
We've been waiting for this movie for 10 years. And for those of you that are Five Nights at Freddy's fans, you know.
Yes. It's streaming now, or you can catch it on theaters, theaters. Or it's streaming, I think it's Peacock? Shudder? Peacock? Peacock, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, this movie it's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited that Five Nights at Freddy's is a movie, and I'm already gearing up for a sequel.
Yeah. We already saw the Five Nights at Freddy. I want to see the story about that movie I think they wanted to do Five Nights at Freddy, but they didn't get the licensing with Nicolas Cage. I forget the name.
Nicolas Cage. I'll look it up for you right now.
It's almost the exact same idea. It's the same idea. The only thing that they don't have is the Five Nights at Freddy intellectual property. But everything else is the same. And Nicolas Cage, although Nicolas Cage in the whole movie has one line. That's it. I think that was one of his easiest roles.
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland, right? Yes. And that's not that old. That's what, a year old? 2 years old? Something like that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's close to the same movie, but a little bit more wacky.
Well, see, the thing is, if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, that movie is nothing like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Really?
I mean, it's not. Like, let's just go into some spoiler warnings here, people, okay? If you haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's, you should. You
know the deal. Go watch it. You watched it, you're back.
You watched it, you're back. But, like, I'm going to talk about what I loved about this.
Okay.
This movie, the sets, the creatures, the characters, I felt like I was living the game. Even just the security guard desk, I even commented on that. Like, they had the little cup, they had the player, they had
everything. It's game accurate.
Oh, it was so game accurate. I loved it. And they actually put a lot of thought into the backstory of the security guard. And how his little sister and him interacted. Like, I loved that part of the story.
So in the game, there's no backstory to the security guard?
Not really, because it's you.
Okay, so it's your backstory.
Yeah, whoever you are now the nighttime security guard for 5 nights from midnight to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was the deal. You in the game, you have to survive from midnight to 6 a.m.
Yes.
Like in the movie.
Like in the movie. And the cool thing is there's the audio tape guy.
Okay.
So that, like, he talks to you on the phone or he has a message for you. He's like, so, just good luck here. Just make sure that you manage your light, right? Like, he's all nervous. Like,
Okay, so from the perspective of a person who plays the game, it's a good movie.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that there are people who are fans of the game out there
Who hate the movie?
Who hate the movie because there were things that they didn't get.
Okay.
So they didn't really, in my opinion, they didn't dive into certain aspects of the lore that they could have in this, like sort of some of the sub games, like what's underneath the pizzeria, like a bunch of stuff. But that being said, it was as though you were playing game one.
Interesting.
Like, it was great because they gave hints, but they didn't really reveal. It was the same thing as they were playing the first version of the game.
I see.
So the first game is about a character named Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
That's his name. He is the nighttime security guard, and you...
Oh, okay. So it's not really you. There is a story to the guy.
Well, there is sort of. It's just his name.
Okay. So you just have a name.
You just have a name.
You're just Mike.
But it's you. It's a first-person perspective.
Okay.
And you're told over the speaker that... over the phone recording, that the animatronics are put into free roam mode to prevent the creatures from locking up their servos, basically.
Okay.
And that they can be very dangerous because if you get caught by them, they'll think that you need to go into an animatronic. So they'll stuff you into an animatronic, thus killing you.
Oh, okay. And they just flat out tell you.
They tell you,
game.
and they're like, yeah, just
be careful.
Just avoid that. That's probably bad.
Okay. Okay. So in the movie, they don't really tell the main character. Is it Mike? I don't remember his name in the movie of the main character. So it's also Mike.
Yes, it is.
They don't tell him anything.
Yeah, they don't tell him anything. They just tell him like it's a security gig. But the reason why they don't tell him is because the character who sends him there is William Afton. And William Afton was the founder of Freddy Fazbear's.
Also played by Scooby-Doo himself.
Yes, Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard from Scream.
Yes.
From SLC Punk, one of my favorite movies that he's ever done. That could be considered a horror movie, right? SLC Punk. We could watch it for the podcast, no?
Could we not, though?
Yeah, I don't think it's a horror movie, but it's a really good movie. But everybody knows him for Scooby.
Yes, yes. And he actually does...
Is Scooby-Doo the dog?
No, he actually plays Shaggy.
Shaggy, right,
yes,
Shaggy.
But Scooby-Doo is the franchise.
Scooby-Doo is the franchise, right.
Yeah. So, and he does an amazing job in this movie.
Yes, he does.
He really does.
He does.
So Scooby, or not Scooby.
Not Scooby.
Not Scooby.
Not Scooby.
So William Afton, I loved his role in this. It really made sense.
Which one's William Afton?
William Afton is the founder of Freddy Fazbear's, and he plays the Golden Bunny.
The Golden Bunny.
Yes.
Which... So I've never played this game, so I don't know any of the lore. I don't know what the Golden Bunny is. I don't know any of the creatures. I know that watching the movie, you are, that one's the fast one. He's the fox.
Yeah, Foxy. Foxy is really fast, and Foxy used to scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Foxy was like the worst one for me in number one in the first game. In the second game, you have more tools. In the second game, you can like put a mask on and prevent yourself from being killed. Let's not talk about the game, though. We've got to talk about the movie.
Talk about a movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but you need to, talk about how the movie correlates to the game and how accurate it is.
You do. I actually really loved the arc of the characters of Freddy and Bonnie and Foxy and how they really loved Abby, Mike's little sister. And it made sense because it's hinted at in the first game that these were children whose bodies were stuffed into animatronics.
Okay.
But it's not... the explanation is not really given. And in the second one, or not in the second one, I think it's in the third one, it doesn't really matter. They confirm it later. So it kind of makes sense that that's what happens.
I see. So as in the game, in the movie, they tell you later on that yes, the kids,
Yeah.
they were abducted, they were never found, and they were just stuffed into the
Into these
animatronics.
animatronics.
Yeah.
So, Mike, so from a survival perspective, I would say that Mike is doing, like, I would have agreed to that job.
Yeah, it's a nothing job, you know. You just get there. It's a beat down place. Nobody's gonna go steal anything, and you just sleep on the job.
Yeah,
Nothing's gonna happen.
there's a lot of interesting pieces of this where they kind of make it easy for you to agree with what the characters are doing at the time. Like, there's no reason to believe the animatronics would come to life.
All right.
You know, I mean, I wouldn't have suspected that.
Yeah, although there's a weird character that I don't think really fits well in the movie. I didn't like it all that much. Was
Vanessa.
Yeah, the lady cop character.
Yeah.
It's a weird character. I don't understand. She knew all along, but she didn't help him. But then you find out that she's helping her dad. She's really so we find out a little bit later that she's really helping her dad murder security guards or take more children. It's kind of weird.
Her role was a little bit confusing for me. I felt like she was going along with it because she was trying to protect the animatronics.
Because they were children.
And she says, even in this movie, she's like, this is Bonnie. She introduces Bonnie first. And Bonnie has a strong role to play with Vanessa in the games.
Okay.
She ends up brainwashing Vanessa.
So Vanessa is a character in the game?
She is a character in the game, but she's not this character. She's not William Afton's daughter.
Okay, but she's a cop also?
No.
Okay, it's just a character named Vanessa.
It's a character who ends up putting on a white bunny suit.
Okay.
It's a whole different thing. But I like that they introduced her this way because we like her to a certain extent. And she's involved in the lore. And so I can see how in future films her character could evolve.
If they make future films.
They must.
They must.
They must. It is an imperative.
Well, the money will say if they will.
Well, everyone please go see this movie immediately.
So they make more?
So they make more.
So they make the money and they can make more.
I love this franchise so much. I love this movie so much. I thought it was a beautiful representation of the video games. And listen, if you thought that little pieces here and there weren't great, just be quiet. Just shut up. Like, just don't ruin my joy. Because, like, they did a great job. They really did their best.
I liked how the characters look. At first I thought it was CG, but then it looks too good to be CG.
Yeah.
So they look like guys in suits. They don't look like guys in suits. But I'm pretty sure they used some CG to put on the electromechanical parts underneath everything.
Definitely foxy.
But it was just a guy in a suit.
It was. And the look, they nailed for me the look and the lighting of the animatronics.
Okay.
And it just worked beautifally.
Now let's go for survival tips.
Right, let's survive this.
I think it's easy to survive this. Just, if you're a beat cop, just don't sleep on the job and look at the monitors.
Yes. You could look at the monitors. I like that they showed the capability, the violent capability of the animatronics, like right from the get-go, with people who broke in.
Yeah.
And they were like, because that was really where most of the violence was.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a lot. The only part that I say, oh, that was pretty cool, was when the lady was kind of like looking inside the mouth, and all of a sudden it ate half of her body.
Yeah.
And just chomped her in half. That was
did.
pretty interesting. You don't really see it. You see the shadow.
Silhouette. Well, the thing is, this game, as scary as it is for the tension, it's not really violent. I mean, it is terribly violent, but it's also like not very gore. It's like you get killed right at the end, and it's like jump scare.
Okay.
So I think they could have had more jump scares than they had.
I mean, they had a couple. They had a lot of scares with this little doll that I didn't understand.
That little doll was a key piece into like side quests, side games.
Okay.
So I think that was really cool at sending them into new storylines, is what it felt like.
Oh,
so I really liked that.
Into new storylines in the film itself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even when... So my hope is, because I felt like this kind of covered game 1. It definitely didn't cover game 2, but it covered a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if they kind of jumped to game 3, where we were in the little girl's house. I think that Mike did a pretty good job of survival.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't a lot of instances where Abby and Mike needed to just like run away. There were some, I mean, towards the end.
Yeah, yeah. And I think he ran away whenever he needed to run away, and he was just doing his job.
How do you defeat animatronic robots?
With electricity. What they did.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
true.
with tasers.
Yeah, they wish they had used the tasers more and more. You know? And I mean, there's got to be some power supply for the robots.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about it, that there was these batteries that...
This highfalutin
high
fancy
technology that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
That made them last forever, basically. Which just made up technology.
Right.
From the 80s.
It's gobbledygook.
Yeah, gobbledygook from the 80s, which is a thing.
So I thought it was fantastic that they depicted each character as having their own sort of thing, like Foxy with his little hook.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Bonnie. Oh, my favorite, though, was Chica with her little cupcake.
Yeah, the cupcake was really, really interesting. I didn't quite get where the story of his abducted brother came into, because he always wanted to know. Yes, in the end, he learned that the guy who killed all these kids also, technically, we think, is the one who abducted his younger brother. But then it wasn't all that clear. Did he live close to the place? Was his brother one of the animatronics? I don't think it was.
Well, so they changed the story a little bit. So in the games, William Afton was just a serial killer who murdered a bunch of children and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics.
Okay.
And then their souls attached to that animatronic.
But did he do kind of like is it with magic? I mean, is that explained? Because it's not really explained in the movie.
Well,
how he gets, you kill children, but you get their souls stuck into the animatronic.
Well, I don't think it has to be explained because in a lot of horror movies, you know, if there's a demon, like a poltergeist, somebody who died violently, it's like, oh my God, they possess a house now and they throw knives across the room and they want to kill you. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if a child's body is stuffed into an animatronic violently, it could be that their soul attaches to it and they're angry and confused.
Yes, as it normally happens.
Right? I mean, that would happen to me. If someone stuffed my body in animatronic.
Yeah, you just stay as that animatronic.
Yeah,
with the mind of a child.
I would seek revenge.
And murder everybody.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's what
you don't have anything else to do. That's what we learned from the movie Talk to Me.
Yeah, you're just waiting.
You're just waiting
in the dark
to be angry,
right? And in this movie, I guess they're just waiting for people to come in so they can slash them.
Well, in the movie, they're waiting for people to play with. They just want to have fun. In the movie,
well, they just want to have fun if it's any children or anybody that they like, because that wasn't all that clear. So they don't really injure the cop lady or his sister.
Right.
But him, they were gonna kill him quick.
Yeah, they were gonna kill him quite a bit, and it's interesting. Mike doesn't have a negative relationship with them at all, but I'm curious about their motivations because in the game, it's kind of the explanation slowly unfolds, but in the movies, they're just, they're animatronic creatures, so they want to kill you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so we have the ability to get away by using electricity.
Like a taser, which is what he does.
The other thing that we could do is we could actually try and talk to them and make friends with them.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem to... Unless you're a child and they want to play with you, you're just out of luck.
How did Vanessa do it, though, then?
because she was already a child when he got her. So I'm guessing she knew
yeah.
them since she was a kid.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
And her dad just kind of like indoctrinated her into knowing. Maybe she helped the kids get captured and murdered.
I mean, that's dark.
And then she turned into a cop.
I guess she could have. So I think it's interesting that in this movie, they didn't really go into a lot of the survival strategies. Like, there wasn't a point where he's in the control room and he's just trying to manage the lights and manage the stuff.
They never use, and I understand that's a big part of that's the game.
Yes, that's the game.
And they showed a couple of scenes from the monitors, but they didn't show all that much. They didn't use it all that much in the movie.
But what happens in the game, and this is always interesting to me for survival, in the game, you have all of these resources. You have all these resources to keep the lights on. You have a certain amount of power. You have a certain amount of power.
Yes.
And then that power, you can use it to either turn the lights on, lock the doors, or look at the monitors.
I see.
And once that power is gone, it's gone. You can't see anything. All the doors are open.
So you're basically dead.
You're not dead though. Then you're basically just waiting for them to come and get you.
Okay. So if that happens close to 6 a.m., then you're good.
You might be able to make it. Sometimes in the last couple of nights, you're like, oh, dang it. Okay, it's still dark. Did I manage it enough to push them far enough away so they won't get me right before 6?
I see.
Like, sometimes it's a touch and go situation. So what I think was interesting in here, they cut the power a couple of times.
Yes, and then he would go and turn the power back on.
He would go and try and turn the power back on. And like, that was the tension. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
It's happening. Yeah, because in this movie, I remember distinctly, you were like, oh, I'm so afraid. And I'm like, are you? Why? This is more like a comedy than a horror movie.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do not know. I am not in the know. I know nothing about this game. I know that it was famous a while ago, and that's it.
Well, there were 9 Five Nights at Freddy's.
9 games?
Yes.
Jesus.
9 games.
Like sequentially, 1, 2, 3, and up until 9?
There was really 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then there were a bunch of side games and like other, subjects and then there's
explore the story?
Yes. There's also novels.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
There's all kinds of Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
I see.
It's really popular. Different kinds of Freddy's or of animatronics. Like, some of them are zombie. And some of them are that I've seen in like merchandising.
Oh, interesting. And now a movie.
Hopefully to be 5 movies.
Hopefully to be 5 movies. But as a horror movie in itself, I didn't really like it that much. It was kind of But I'm not a fan of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
it had its fun moments. I really like the suits of the creatures, the animatronics, if you will.
Well, what about the danger of these antagonists? Like, because in some of our stuff, we're like, okay, we're going to survive this. But in this, the only resource you're saying is, like, electricity. So let's say you're a security guard, right? You don't have a
most security guards have tasers. They're more inclined to have a taser than a gun.
Yeah, but in this movie, this guy went in with a t-shirt and a vest. All right?
Not even the vest. He got the vest from a dingy locker.
Yeah, he got the vest from a locker. So what I'm saying is, let's walk through it. Let's survive.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So Charlie, you gotta tell me.
So I have anger issues, and I beat people up.
Right.
Beat fathers in front of their children.
Right.
Just because I want to, and for some reason I don't go to prison.
Right. You don't go to prison.
Yes.
And then you get a job offer.
I just get fired, and I get a job offer because I can't find any other jobs to go and be a security guard in an old pizzeria with creepy animatronics, which I am not told of.
Right.
According to the movie, I'm not told of. Right. Okay. So I get there. First night, nothing happens. Because nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Well, I'm not sure if it was in the first night or the second night in the movie, where his dream just cut him. One of the kids cut him in the dream, and then he was cut in real life.
That was the second night, because that's when Vanessa, so he meets Vanessa after the first night. Mm-hmm. Then that second night, she comes in and she finds him and he's been cut. Yeah,
which she knew, but she said nothing. So how do I survive that? I mean, up to this point, I don't know anything's happening. Other than, I'd freak out if somebody cut me in my dream and then I'm cut in real life. Although it could have been, oh, maybe I just fell and cut myself. So there's really not surviving anything right now because you don't know nothing's happening.
No.
So if you don't know, how are you going to survive?
Well, all right, but let's keep going through it.
Okay.
Okay, so you don't, maybe the first couple of nights you don't do anything. First of all, I would say that you probably shouldn't sleep on the job.
Right? Don't take sleeping pills if you're going on a job.
Don't bring your little sleep poster with you.
Right.
You know?
Your little sleep music.
Yeah.
Sleep poster, sleep music, sleep pills. You shouldn't be doing that on any job.
You shouldn't be sleeping.
You should be alert.
Like there is I would have personally asked more questions.
For the job?
Yeah, well,
why? You can't find any.
No,
you can't find anything.
I would have accepted immediately. But what I'm saying is I would say, okay, so security on this. Have you had break-ins before? What has happened? Have you had other security guards?
What happened to previous security guards?
What do you mean when you say high turnover? Is it because it's night shifts? You think, or I don't know. I like investigating that kind of stuff. So I would have asked.
I mean, but you're a security guard. You're no investigator.
It's not an investigation to find out about the job that you're going to do.
No?
I don't think so. I think it's just normal questions.
Oh, okay.
At least to me. So then, like, so then you got night 3, right? Night 3 stuff starts to happen because night 2 there is a break-in.
Yes.
So night 2.
But you don't even know because the people are murdered.
It was after 6 a.m.
Yes.
So you don't know, but it's all turned over and crazy and things like that. I would have asked, oh, what happened to I mean, I guess it was vandalized, but do you know who did it?
Right? No, we don't know. But she wasn't going to tell because she knew what happened.
Yeah, she knew what happened.
Yeah. Okay, so how to survive this situation? Day 3, you do your job. First of all, you're in an office. Close the doors to the office, right? Which he didn't do. He just left them open most of the time.
Yeah.
And just look at the actually just play the game. You're playing the game.
Right.
So just look at the monitors and you will see these things moving around. Right? And then you would be like, what the hell? What is this?
Yeah.
You know, and arguably you can't quit because that's the only job you can get.
Right.
So you have to learn how to play the game even better.
Yes. And I do like that then he brings Abby and Abby I loved that Abby became friends with him. Yeah. Y'all are going to hate me for this because most people are going to hate that.
Yeah,
I think most Five Nights at Freddy's
I actually found that part pretty funny and pretty cool.
I thought it was great.
Where they make friends and then they go into a little montage, I think it was.
Right? It was so sweet. And I just, because honestly, as scary as they are, throughout the whole game, I just wait. Why can't I just make friends with them?
Right. Although they weren't really all that scary.
Well, I disagree.
I'll have to play the game. If there's a second movie, I will play the games for the second movie.
Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. And let's just have you go look at the animatronics and just imagine.
I don't think they still have animatronics.
Of course they do.
They do?
I'm sure they do.
I've seen the videos of their animatronics from back in the day. They look like nightmare fuel.
Yeah. It's not. They're no joke. Like, I feel like animatronic anything is scary. It's just because underneath the fluff, that's just hard steel, and that could rip you apart.
Yeah, but it's just electromechanical stuff. Nothing will be happening there.
Listen, I can injure myself by just falling over a bicycle that I'm walking next to. Right? I'm going to injure myself through an animatronic that just wanders around.
Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is, to survive this movie, you have to be good at the game. So you have to practice the game. That's the only way to survive.
Well, so you're saying
in that situation, you can't find any other job. That's the only job you have, right? By day 3, you know there's something happening, so you got to be prepared. You got to go prepared.
So you're saying that the only way to survive really is to hide and run and you can't directly confront these animals or these these animatronics.
No, you can't do anything because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're gonna kill you unless you figure out that with a taser you can put them down. But are you gonna take that chance to get in front of them and try to tase them?
Yeah,
you gotta be really close to tase someone, unless he does the tase gun, which is what he did in the movie.
Yeah, and I would say that this is a pretty dangerous horror movie villain. These are pretty dangerous creatures, especially if their goal is to put you in an animatronic suit that then will.
I 100% would agree and love being in this situation a lot more than in the situation of When Evil Lurks.
Oh my God.
100 times. You haven't watched that movie? Watch that movie.
Yes, we just did a video about that yesterday.
Because
a podcast.
Because in that situation, you're done.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. But in this one, you can have a plan. You can manage them. Hey, maybe you can make friends with them.
That's true. In here, they're children's souls.
Yeah.
You
But then the wild card here is the guy who made them.
William.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, he's the one who gave him the job.
Yeah, William Afton is definitely a wild card in this. I liked how they defeated him, that he just activated those little things in the suit and
they
killed
just
him.
bored into his chest. That looks really painful.
Yeah, that was awful.
But then I wonder if then his soul will get stuck to that one and it'll continue on.
Of course. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
That it will.
Not having played the game and just watching the movie, I would want to see more of the universe of what happens and an explanation of how can this be done. Did he find some old school, elder gods type of stuff to bind their souls to these creatures, or just happenstance that it just happened and it's never explained?
Yeah, I would really like to learn that as well and just find out what happened and how the world works more through the movie universe. I love their characterization of Mike as well, because Mike is a really integral part of the series and the video games, and I want to see how that pans out. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Yeah. So if you are a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, I would love to hear what you thought of this movie, and if you loved it, if you hated it, if you didn't like it, I want you to point out what you didn't like it to us, because I am a huge fan of the series, of the video game series, but I'm not an expert at it. Like, I haven't played it for many years. So, there are people out there who are religious with this game, and I want to hear from those people. I
want to hear from the people who are horror movie fans but have never played the game.
Yeah, what did you think?
Did you like this movie? Yeah. I think it was, it wasn't I don't see it as a horror movie. I see it more as a kind of like a comedy-ish type of action flick, maybe. But it wasn't really all that hard to me. But my horror is like, existential dread.
It's true.
You're not gonna make it, That's what it is.
You want to see gore and you want to see despair.
Yeah, like when evil lurks, there's just the despair in every scene. You're like, oh, something's gonna happen, and it does.
Oh my gosh. So during the month of October, we're watching one horror movie every single day leading up to Halloween.
Which we'll watch Halloween.
We will watch Halloween on Halloween.
Yes.
After the month of October, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled podcast of once a week. And I'm going to watch a lot of Disney movies. Just a lot of animation.
We're going to do a Disney movie podcast.
We are gonna binge just happiness and lovey-dovey stuff.
I'm good with the horror movies. That's good for the soul.
Is it though?
Yeah. I'm not everything that is happening that's bad. I'm not in that situation.
Right? You're like, could be worse.
Could be worse.
I could be in.
I could be possessed by demons.
Right.
Right. The whole world could be possessed by demons. Religion doesn't matter.
Zombies could be taking over the earth.
Yeah, zombies can be taking over the earth. There could be a slasher that it's after you. There's a lot of things that it could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Please send us a comment about anything that you want, really.
Yeah. If you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment down below.
Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for our fun shorts and our wonderful podcast.
Yeah, and hit the little bell, do all the things that you do on YouTube.
Yeah. If you're listening to this in your car, I have a message for you.
Oh, what's the message?
It's not. Why? You really built it up.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a message. I don't know the message. I want to know the message.
Well, if you're listening to us, what I want to know is, on all of our episodes, whenever Milo squeaks the toy,
right? Does it bother you?
Does it bother you?
Yeah, because you're not looking at it. Right now, he's sleeping.
Right?
He's just right here, like he's
really
got tired.
Sweet. But the last couple of episodes, it's like he's excited
now.
Yeah,
so he has this little toy right here. Look, if I take it, he gets it. It's like,
he's like, whoa.
Where he's like looking at it. It's like, where are you taking my toy?
Where are you taking my toy?
Just leave it right there.
So what I want to know is if that bothers you, because when you're watching it, it's adorable. But if you're just listening to it, it's got to be annoying.
Right? Yeah, wiggy. And we're just talking to a Milo.
Right?
What if they don't know what?
What if you don't know what a Milo is?
What if they think it's a little, a little demon or something?
What if they think it's like our child, and this is how we treat our children?
Right? Listen, Milo. Take it easy. Just throw his toy away. Just throw it away.
Oh, you dropped it. Well, sorry. Good for you.
Good for you. Now get away from me, Milo. That would be, they're into. They have a horror movie in and of itself.
Right? Our horror movie is how our dog lives.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this, please send us an email at outsmartingtheshadows@gmail.com.
Outsmartingtheshadows@gmail.com.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Please remember to be brave, be vigilant, and be the last one standing.
Always. Go get it.